there's something so satisfying about the feel and sound of paper, isn't there? I think that is why babies love paper so much, don't they? And because of that feel and the touch and the crispiness of it. That is why we junk journalists love to do paper craft. For those of you who don't know much about junk journaling, I thought I would show you the basics of junk journaling. This will be a two-part tutorial. In part one, I'll show you how to put together a signature, and in part two, how to stitch the signature into the cover. Of course, there are umpteen YouTube tutorials on this, but for those of you who are following me, this tutorial is for you. I typically like to use a 5 by, sorry, not a 5, an 11 by 8.5 inch paper size for my journal. So this would be, let's see, this is 11 by 8.5. And these are, so you want a variety of paper to use in your journal, because just to make it pleasant to the eye, pleasant to the touch. And junk journalists, many of us like to use dyed paper, coffee dyed paper or tea dyed paper. Doilies also add a really nice touch in a journal. And graph paper. This is a sort of, this is handmade paper with little flecks of plant matter or leaves and things in there. Brown paper. I love using brown paper. Music paper, of course. This is parchment that I did some stamping on. This is something that I designed, and I just did some stitching on that. I thought, oh, let's tuck that in there. This was a used page that I did some stamping on, so there was writing under that. So, and I put a pressed flower there. That's a surprise. Parchment. And another tea-dyed doily. And this is parchment that I painted with gold acrylic paint. And so there is my signature. And then the signature will have a cover. And for my cover, I'm using a used Amazon packaging, and I'm going to cover that. I chose some music paper here, 2 sheets of music paper, and I'm going to cover this. I've already folded it. I'm going to glue that. I'm going to glue this down. That's going to be the back. This is the front. I'm going to glue this. That, and then the signature will be stitched into the cover, and then there we have a journal. So I am going to, first of all, I'm going to trim these pages down just to even it out. I'm going to trim this down with a craft knife. So, yep. So we're going to do this. The signature first, and then we'll do the cover in part 2, and then we'll decoupage, not decoupage, collage this, and then put the journal together. Now I'm going to be making a single signature journal, but here I meant to show you, here is a 3 signature journal, 1, 2, 3, and that's stitched into the cover, into the spine. That's stitched into the spine, and then the stitching is covered up with a strip of cloth in this one. There's the cover. This is a cloth cover. Oh, let's see. Okay, now for the cover page, which is going to cover the inside cover and the back cover, like that. But before I do that, I'm going to use a lace closure, which is going to close the journal like this and tie it into a bow. So before I put that, the cover, the facing on there, I am going to glue this lace ribbon or lace tie down. So I'm going to take some glue, run it along here. See that equal length? About an equal length. I'm just eyeballing it. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to put some glue on here. I always forget to do this this part. So I had to make a note to self. All right. The padding, this packaging, the Amazon packaging has a kind of foamy padding, which gives the journal a nice feel. All right. Now I'm gonna lay this down. I just trimmed it. I just trimmed it off a little bit there so that it doesn't stick out. Oops, I shouldn't have brought this up to the edge. I should wipe this. All right. Now I chose to make a paper, sort of a soft cover, as opposed to a hard cover or a cloth cover, but the journal can be, you can use any kind of fabric, any kind of material for the cover. But this, if you don't have a sewing machine, then, and you don't want to sew, you don't want to do any sewing, then this is the easiest way to do it. Now, just have to glue the back seam down. You can hardly see it, and that's going to be on the back anyway. So the next thing is, before I put the signature in here, before the signature gets sewn in here, I'm going to collage the front of the cover first. I haven't decided on the back yet, but I'm going to do the front. For the collage, I like to use Mod Podge. You could use glue, but I am going to be using this napkin, this paper napkin, single ply, and so I find that Mod Podge works better with napkin particularly. So I shall, let me just wipe my glue brush. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but let me just wipe it. And okay, wait a minute, let me position my collage first. I was going to do, so for collaging, you want to use a few different elements. Doily is always nice to use on a collage, so I'll put that doily behind there. Oh, the other thing we want to do is to wet the edges, because you don't want collage needs to be have torn edges typically. And oh, I can't find my spray bottle. So I have my leftover the tea leftover, which is cold. So I'm just going to take that, rub along the edges, and sort of get a nice torn edge like that. This is a lovely napkin. Oops. Reminds me of my Riesling grapes. I don't know if these are Riesling grapes. Might be Chardonnay. I'm not sure. Okay. Get a nice torn edge there. Oh, like the surface. Okay. So I think I'm going to put the wine bottle there. And I'll put this print behind here. I don't know how I had it this afternoon. I kind of had it different. I had it differently this afternoon. I'll let that overlap. Trim it down maybe like that. I think I had that cut out. I had that cut out there. And I always love gold. I take a whole sheet of brown paper and paint gold acrylic paint on it, let it dry, and this is just gold in a collage. It's just lovely in a collage. It just sort of adds a richness and extra dimension to a journal or to a collage. Now, do I want the gold there? Maybe put this leaf down here in this corner, and another bit of doily stick out there. Here is the completed collage. I brushed 3 layers of Mod Podge over the most of the elements except for the little journal book plate, and leaving each layer to dry completely. In part 2 of this tutorial, that's the next video, I will show you how to sew the signature into the journal cover, and also how to embellish the pages. Thanks for watching, lovelies. Till next time, bye.